Hello everyone and welcome to Shubhkaamna Academy. Today we are starting our first lesson in history and the topic is when, where and how. Now you may ask why do we even study history? Is not it just about old things? Well, history is not just about the past, it's about understanding how people lived, how countries were formed and how kings ruled and how we became what we are today. History is like a time machine. It tells us about when things happened, where they happened, and how they happened. So let's begin this exciting journey. Now we are going to learn in this video about why study history, time frame in history, dates in history, and the sources of history. Why study history? History is made up of events that occurred in the past. But why study about the past? The study of past is important to understand the present. And this is our first chapter. We will learn how to study history, why time and place are important, and how historians know what happened long ago. When means the time something happened. In history, we often ask when was a battle fought, when was a kingdom born, and when did people start farming or building cities. Historians use dates, timelines, and years like 1000 BC or 1526 AD to understand what happened first and what happened later. This helps us understand the sequence of events like a story with a beginning, middle, and end. So here is the three parts where the history is divided, like prehistory, proto-history, and the history. Prehistoric period is the time when writing had not even invented, and hence there are no written records of this period. But prehistory is based entirely on archaeology. To understand prehistory, archaeologists dig deep into the ground and dig out the remains of the past and the physical remains such as pots, jewelry, tools, coins, bones, etc. Protohistory. Protohistoric period is the time for which we have written records. However, they are very few and still which cannot be read. So, archaeological sources are the main sources of this information. Example is the Indus Valley civilization. Now, the history after the invention of writing is known as the history. We have record from these periods. Early writing was done on rocks, pillars, copper plates, clay tables, palm leaves, and on the barks of the beech trees. Now, dates in the histories. Dates in the histories are expressed in BC and AD, where the BC stands for the before the common era, while the CE stands for the common era, and AD means the after date. So there are the five phases like Paleolithic, Neolithic, Ancient Age, Medieval Age, Modern Age, and the Contemporary Age. Now the geographical framework. Geography has played an important role in India, which is a large country like India has a diverse geographical features. There are high mountains, hot deserts, fertile rivers, valleys, and the numerous rivers. The Himalayan mountains in the north acts as a natural barriers between India and the Central Asia, and its passes in these mountains have acted as the roots of content science in ancient time. Now there are the sources of history. Now there are two sources of history, and it is getting divided further. That is the archaeological sources and the literary sources. Archaeological sources, which is the direct evidence, means they cannot be changed or alternated by human beings. And there are four types of archaeological sources, that is inscription, monuments, artifacts, and coins. What is inscriptions? Inscriptions are the writings on the stone, metal, or some materials as an important historical source. And these are the valuable historical evidence of the existence and the activities of early kings and the empires. Next is monument. Monument is the type of structure that was explicitly created to become commemorate a person or event, or which has become a relevant to a social group as a part of their remembrance of the historical times or cultural heritage. Next is the artifacts. These are the objects that humans made in the past, like pottery, tools, ornaments, and metal objects, and the jewelry and the weapons, which are called the artifacts. Next are the coins. Coins, which are the extremely valuable source of information. They tells us about the reigning period of the king, the economy of the kingdom, and the extent of a king's empire, and about the trade with the other regions. Coins also throw light on the art religion of earlier times. Now, literary sources. Now, what is meant by literary sources? It is the handwritten records of the past in the form of books, which are called the manuscripts. And these were usually written on palm leaves and the barks of birch trees. Due to their fragile nature, many manuscripts have been destroyed, and those that have survived have helped us to know more about the past. There are two types of literary sources, that is, religious and secular. Religious literature, that is the writing things which deal with religion, are called the religious literature. Many books are based on religious themes: the Vedas, the Ramayana, and the Mahabharata, and the Gita, and the Puranas, which are the important sources of information of ancient India. Next is the secular literature, which is the writing things which are not religious, are called secular literatures. And this include the stories, poems, plays, biography of kings, accounts of foreign travelers, and books on politics and science. The Arthashastra by Kautilya, the Indica by Megasthenes, the plays and the poems of Kalidas, and the accounts of Fahan and Yuan Sang, and the Sangam literature, which are the some example of secular literature written during the ancient period. So in today's class, we learn about when, where, and how, which tells us the time something happened, tell us about the place, and shows about the way we discover the history. This is just the beginning of a fun and exciting subject, history, which is a full of king, battles, temples, travelers, inventions, and stories you will love to know. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Shubhkaamna Academy for more easy lessons. See you in the next class, where we will all even go into deeper into the world of past. Bye and keep learning.